I'm getting over being sick, but let's do this. Sorry about that. Let me get some water. Hopefully that'll help the coughing. Alright, so we're going to go over the US CAD trade. If you can give me a minute, please. Oh, sorry. Okay, so US CAD M1. Let's zoom in on that. That's so tiny. Oh, my head feels like it's going to explode. Good morning. It's September 21st. So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna hopefully attempt to talk a little bit about slippage and what we can and can't do to avoid it. We're also gonna look at the spread on this trade. I was downloading during this one, so it's actually gonna be a pretty good example of what the hell not to do, because I was actually downloading Slack, and the next video is going to explain what's going on there. But let me get this set up so we can talk about it, and I'll show you the trade. I recorded it. Alrighty, so first I guess let's watch the trade. Okay, so this was it. I'll go ahead and hit play. Let's see, it's about 15 seconds till it starts on this one. And then we're going to check, because one person made a profit and I didn't, because again, I was downloading, and this had all to do with slippage. Plus, this was kind of a small move, and I had to... Okay, so let's back up a tiny bit, and we'll go a little bit. We'll go frame by frame on that puppy. Okay, so I believe it's E. Okay, so here's it about to hit. And again, guys, we're going to talk about slippage here, because this was a fast move, but I should have been more than able to make a profit on this. But since I was downloading something, the time it took for my order to go from my computer to the broker and back caused some slippage. There we go. That was one frame, and it jumped. Okay, so my straddle was way too wide for this. We knew that this is just a small move. I was using, let me check real quick. Oh, sorry if I sound like hell. I was using an 8 pip straddle. Typically on these news trades for the oil on US CAD, I would recommend up here, points away, go ahead and going with like a 6 pip straddle, because they are very tight. Let's back to the video, and we can watch what happens. So there was the initial move. Now we could see, because I was downloading and I had a bunch of other crap running, you can see at the bottom I had a bunch of shit running. So we get in the trade, it's automatically, I'm at 45 cents negative. There was my, right here, this red line, that was my pending order. Look down here, this is where the order actually opened, plus the spread, I'm already in the hole. Now, if we take a look at it, so what was my slippage? And this is, like I said, 100% my fault. It's a 10 pip slippage on my part, because I was running other crap when this occurred. Mainly downloading and uploading, which, again, all my fault. I should have not been doing it. So let's go back to the video. And that's what I wanted to pause for. Okay, so now we can go ahead and do normal speed on this thing, and we can watch what happens. Now, if I lost by 5.7 pips. Now, again, taking that into account, I should have not either broke even, or I should have made a little bit of money on it. But that was my own stupid fault. And we can see this one, it dropped. I should have been in and out pretty quick. And you can see Slackbot pop up down here. So if you're watching the video, actually, just as this goes, I'm moving to Slackbot, guys. Skype, I'm locked out of the other the main trading access room. I can see it, but I can't type in it. It doesn't let me type in it at all. So I don't know how, but all I can do is view the room. The other time it happened was my fault. I actually left my own damn room, and when I came back, so that was my own stupid fault. Oh, you can see a candle closed. The trailing dropped a little bit more. Again, this was kind of a boring one, but several mistakes I made on my end was using too wide. Again, on these oil ones, you're going to only see about, here, let's take a look at it while that's, well, let's let it finish. Okay, so it closed right there. It moved back. Okay, so, yay, that was the trade. And again, guys, sorry, I'm still getting over freaking being sick. I was up to 102 degrees for a bit. Okay, so 10 pip slippage first. The move itself was, let's take a look at it. The move itself was right about 18 pips, so we didn't have much room to get much. So if we take 1/3 of that 20 is what, 3 times 20? Oh my god, I can't even think. I'm so sick. Oh god. Sorry, I feel like I'm burning up too. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 times 6. Should have been optimal about 6 pips pulled out. Now you have to take away the slippage from that in the spread, so we're looking at the best case a 2 to 4 pip on that. Let me show. So you could see on mine I lost 5.7 because I was stupid. So I lost 5.7 pips because like I said, I was just plain stupid. So if I would have done things right, I could have shaved off 2 pips off that by pulling in my straddle to 6 pips, which again on these on these oil trades, I would highly recommend using the 6 pips. If we look at someone who probably did it a little better than me, let me see if I can bring this over here. This was one other person's trade. They weren't downloading. They had less slippage. They only got a 5 pip slip, and they made 2.4 pips profit. That's about how this trade should have came out. On average, it should have been about a 2 to 4 pip winner. I know that's not a lot, but these oil trades aren't anything big, guys. I mean, it's just mainly, you could say, practice. But if you can get proficient at them, hey, 2 pips isn't nothing to sneeze at. Well, it is, but not really, because if you're trading, let's say, a half a lot, 2 pips would be, what, like $50, I think? I don't know. I'm so sick. I don't really care. Oh, God, sorry, I didn't really mean to say I don't really care. At this point, I really don't. I just want to get I'm dead, and I'll feel better. Okay, so now let's take a look at the spread on this one. I did have one, and I think it is a good idea. The log file on this is actually pretty big. It starts recording as soon as you turn the EA on. So one suggestion I had, and I'm going to forward it to the coder, is if we can only have the log file start up when the EA posts the first pending. So that actually is a really good suggestion. So if we scroll down here to 0930, which is about when the trade was, I believe. Yeah, it was at 9:30. This is local time, I'm forgetting. Okay, so let's get to it. Spread on this one wasn't that big of an issue. God, yeah, I definitely think cleaning up the log file would be great. Because it is kind of huge. And sorry if I sound like hell. 17... God, I am so out of it. I'm literally looking at the date thinking it's the time. Sorry. Oh my god, let me just shoot myself now and get it over with. Okay, so 17:30. Let's back up into about 17:29 and 30 seconds so we can take a look at the spread. And then remember, guys, add it onto your spreadsheet. These oil trades are relatively safe trades. They're just quick moves. As you get more proficient, you can actually bring the spread into about the straddle to about 5 pips. But let's take a look. So it's 36. We're running 1.92. What's weird is I saw a -2 in here somewhere, which was just... I keep seeing a -2, which is weird that the spread goes negative. Okay, so here's the trade hit. We're at a 2-pip spread, 1.2, 1. The spread doesn't go insane. See what I mean? We get a -2 in there. So the spread on this one was actually, that's why I say these oil trades, they can become profitable. And they're like once a week, I believe. So it's easy, kind of easy money. Just make sure, like, again, like what I did, don't have shit running, don't be downloading, just have MT4 open. Slack will be okay. Skype actually sucks down a shit ton of memory. I know everyone probably has other groups that they use Skype on, and I'll talk about in the next video I do. Okay, so anyway, the spread never went out of control on this one, and let's see what time this trade closed at. The one reason I do like Rinko is because on the US CAD end of it, well, it did go more than a minute. It went into the next candle. So let's take a look at about what time this trade closed at. So the trade opened at here, which was 17:30, and I don't have seconds on it, son of a bitch. So how do we find out where? 17:30:01. See, here's something to this is the BSEA log file. Here, let me show you how to get to it because I'm almost forgetting. Sorry if I'm all over the place, guys. I'm really not thinking that straight. Go to Open Data folder, MQL4, and then Files. I'm looking at the 21st of the BSEA, and this one here also. Remember, this one says ticks, and this one's the log. So the Excel spreadsheet I'm looking at is where you get your spread, and this is what happened with the trade. Right here we can see slippage of sell order was 10.6 pips. I had my slippage set to 15. Now, on NFP or later today, FOMC, I'm going to turn slippage off because it's going to be insane. But I also won't have shit running, so hopefully my orders will go a little bit better. I don't even know if I made a point with this video other than I was stupid. Yes, take profit of sell order. So what happened was reset. Now here's the result. Deleting buy stop because sell stop hit. So we know that the buy stop was gone because we did have a sell take place. And we could tell from the spread, nothing crazy went into effect. What killed this one was the slippage. Okay, so let's talk. I'm feeling maybe talking helps me. Slippage is our one variable that we can't control. It will vary from person to person. As we can see, the other person who took that trade got less slippage than me. What that comes into is your network connection down here. You can't see it. Let's see, file. Okay, let me explain what slippage occurs. So what I'm going to do, this is a DOS screen, and I'm going to ping google.com. Now when I ping it, you see how I get 32 milliseconds, 33, 31. The average time it took was 31 milliseconds for me to send a message to Google, say hi, and it responds back to me saying hello. So if I ping yahoo.com, we see, and this isn't necessarily me, I should get about 30, but Yahoo's their servers are slower to respond. I mean, they're slowly going out of business because they suck. But we can see that there's two variations here. So let's say this was, hope Paul doesn't mind, this was Paul's trade, and this was my trade, to break it down. So this is kind of what slippage breaks down to. Paul's trade, because his response time was much faster, he got a better result than me. I was dicking around and I screwed up my connection, and I got a worse result. So it's very important. Kitty, don't play. Okay, so sorry. It's very important not to have other shit running. If possible, even shut down like Internet Explorer if you're running Skype, Spotify, or Pandora, or Netflix, or YouTube. I had YouTube going. I was streaming music. I was downloading Slack. So you could see how much that affected my trade. I mean, a 10 pip versus a 5 pip, I doubled my slippage compared to what Paul got. So it's very important, guys, to do that. And again, slippage is something that you can't control to a certain point. It's going to vary a little bit between us, or a lot if you're stupid like me. Right now, For slippage, if you look at the EA, you'll notice that my take profit was set to 1,000. Go ahead and put that, or that's 100. I would actually put this to 10,000. So remember, reason being is it needs, and this is what the coder told me, in order for it to see slippage correctly, it kind of needs something to match it against, so you do need to take profit in there. So I know it sounds stupid, but change your take profit to 10,000, because I was asking him about slippage and what he would think the best ways to handle it are, because I was doing it a different way, and he said by the coding that might be the best way to do it. I've been checking with him on a lot of things, because the reason we were talking is I'm trying to set up a version of this that will be back testable, so you can run back tests on it. It's a convoluted way to do a back test, but the version that he gave me looks like we'll be able to back test with it. I'll get into that later. So you'll be able to play with it a little bit in back test. Now, one of the problems with back tests, like I was back testing the NFP from the beginning of the month, that one had there was actually a pause right of ticks coming in right on the second that news released through the back test. So you have to have good tick data, but for generalized testing, you'll be able to do back test. Now, and I'll do a whole video on that later, but I'm going to try it out again today, and then tomorrow I'll give you the updated one. That was another suggestion that I had made, that could it be back tested, and I'd always assume no, it can't because it's news. But because we're using system time, we can back test. So that, if like on a typical EA doesn't know the date and time it's running really in relation to, it knows the real date and time, but we can fool it, and we can, since we're using system time, the system time when you do a back test, when you run the this thing right here, it actually takes, I don't know how, I don't know the details of it, but the coder said it would work, and I did a couple yesterday, and I'm going to do a couple today. But by telling it to use system time, the backtesting it does work. So that's some good news there if you want to dick around and play with settings and things like that. We're going to get into a little bit too that on some of the bigger news reports, we might not necessarily use this trailing. We might use the standard. For the smaller ones, this is better. For the bigger ones, we're going to show you options on it. This is really going to be your preferences. I'll tell you my best judgment on what I use, which is I do like the trailing. Another suggestion was an offset on the trail, which, I mean, thanks for all the suggestion, guys. These are things I would have never thought of, and they will actually improve it, is an offset on the trail, telling it, because we can already add the spread to this, but the problem is, and I guess we could go to okay, I'll get into the rest later, but I've gotten a lot of really good suggestions. Some of the suggestions have actually been pretty amazing. But, that covers the US CAD report. And guys, again, sorry I haven't been around for a few days. I literally was at 102.9 on Sunday with my temperature. Monday I broke down into like 99.2. I feel better today. I just don't have the energy. Real quick, just let's take a look at charts, because for signal wise, I'll show you some of the trades I've taken. You can see how flat it was here, and we finally got a move. This was right at the oil news, so this was probably an oil move. But you can see this is super flat. Again, here was the trade, and then the oil news, so I missed that. A whole 1.4 pips. For signals, I'm just about ready to I think once FOMC hits, that'll break this. So you can look, this is flat as hell. I can't really trade this. This is a 10 pip above, 10 pip below. We're not even hitting a 10 pip move above or below. Flat right here too. And again, here is another trade I took. Kitty, get off my foot. I love you too, but chill. It's really flat. This is London. Earlier. Oh, good lord. 2.8 pips. And I mean, that's ridiculous. There was the 2.8. I took it on a breakdown because over here it looked like a little better. But 2.8 pips. If you want me to send these signals of small pips, I'm more than happy to. But I'm averaging 2 to 3 pips because look how flat it is. I don't want anyone to get all crazy, but it's pretty flat. This was what? That was AUD USD. And that was the news trade. So hopefully that sums up the news. Again, I'm gonna take the next video, guys. Basically, if you're watching this, send me your email address. Skype me your email address so I can get you added into the Slack room. This is it. This is the desktop app of it. Now, what I want you to notice is, and here I'll load it up so you can see a big difference. I'm sorry there's a bunch of crap in this video. I'm just trying to catch up. You can direct. I'm gonna do a whole video on Slack. Don't worry. But just go ahead and message me. One of the reasons that I am using it is, one, I got locked out of my own damn room. Well, not locked out, but I'm in view mode only. Two, here's Slack. It's using 0.1% and 17.9 megabytes of memory. Here's Skype. It's using 114 megabytes and 7% of CPU, and it gets worse as it goes. So hopefully I apologize for the inconvenience on it, but I'm just literally completely 100% over Skype and the issues I've been having with it. People will send me messages, I can't reply. Sometimes I'll see messages, sometimes I won't. I even jumped to using the freaking web version like this, and it seemed better at first, but in the long run I'm still having the same issues. Okay, guys, so that's going to sum it up because my cat's batting at my blinds and I'm going to go smack him silly. I'll do a little bit. FOMC is later today, so that one's going to be a huge mover. I would recommend doing your straddle of at least 15 pips up here. So, kitty, you're knocking stuff. My kitty's acting crazy. I would recommend doing at least 150 points here. I'll send a set. 15 pips. Man, I am out of it. I'll do a video beforehand in about an hour of the settings for FOMC. Let me go to strangle my cat. That'll make me feel better. Okay, guys, so I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. I'm sorry if this is a complete and utter mess. My head feels like it's going to explode still. Alright, so I'll talk to y'all later about FOMC, and again, PM me, email me, whatever, so I can get you into the Slack room. I'll make a bigger announcement. Right now it's just small scale. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have someone post into the room for me, actually, because I can't even post into the room. Alright, guys, thanks, and I'm going to go take some drugs, and then I'll be back. Legal drugs for my cold, flu, whatever I have. Alright, bye.